Hi, my name is Therese Blanton, and I'm a lifelong resident of Mount Sinai and an enthusiastic Team KCQ supporter. Let me tell you why. 26 years ago, I gave birth to a beautiful boy who just happened to have been blessed with an extra chromosome and consequently Down syndrome. Throughout his early years in his public school education, I had to learn how to fight for his educational rights. Because I don't take no for an answer and I won't back down to anyone, I quickly became a strong advocate for him and later in my career for thousands of children like him. Sorry about that. I'm sure you all remember in the first Trump campaign, Trump mocking a reporter who had disabilities. The world was shocked, and yet he won. In the first Trump administration, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos tried to destroy the Education Department. She did a lot of damage, but Education and IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, escaped without too much damage. Fast forward to Trump 2.0, and it's called to do away with DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. The destruction of programs supporting DEI is a triple whammy to folks with disabilities. When we talk about diversity, I believe that is what frightens them the most. Our diversity is really our superpower. I was thinking about leaving the Democratic Party before I found Team KCQ. I'm a left progressive who was going to register independent and align with Democratic Socialists. I really think it's awesome that Team KCQ has a room for a person like me, a lefty progressive, who cares about education and disability rights, but also has room for moderates and blue dog Democrats. I don't know about all y'all, but if this coalition of compassion we are building can include all of us, watch out. I think it's amazing that there are 399 other folks like me who are passionate and knowledgeable about 399 other policy issues that affect us all. We're building a rainbow coalition that the late great Jesse Jackson would be extremely proud of. I'm sure you've all seen the cartoon that shows the difference between equity and equality. Equality is handing everyone a box that's the same size for everyone to stand on to see over the fence. Of course, the shorter disabled person or child in a wheelchair still is not raised up enough and can't see over the fence. Equity, on the other hand, is giving the child with a disability enough boxes to stand on so that they are then of equal height. That is equity. And it's not just about disability rights. Take a look at the incredible work of Reverend Dr. William J. Barber that he's doing with the Poor People's Campaign, carrying on the important work of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And please don't even start with me on inclusion. Or don't get my son Luke started on inclusion, I should say. Remember when RFK Jr. came out with his despicable comments on neurodivergent folks with autisms, the ones Jr. said would never make a contribution to society? Well, my son Luke sat down and wrote a letter to RFK Jr. in which he said, "Respectfully, sir, you don't know what the hell you're talking about." I say, go Luke. In Trump 2.0, we've seen the destruction of the Department of Education and the farming out of Division of Special Education to Health and Human Services. The Special Education Civil Rights Division is decimated. The ongoing threats to Medicaid and Social Security are frightening to me, all because my son Luke relies on these social services, as do hundreds of his friends. I was ecstatic when I stumbled across Team KCQ back in January and knew I had found my people. I quickly jumped aboard Team KCQ. I was ready to put my money where my mouth is and petitioned to become a member of the Suffolk County Democratic Committee. Catherine's message closely mirrors the work I had done for years as family engagement coordinator at a special education preschool. I worked with families to teach and walk with them as they learned to journey the educational and therapeutic path they were on with their children. laying the groundwork to navigate through a special education system that is often fraught with stumbling blocks you can't imagine, and showing them the straight way. I realize most of the policy concerns I have mentioned are at the federal level. At the same time, I do understand the need for party building and working at the local level from the ground up. And Catherine is doing just that, laying the groundwork for a stronger Democratic Party, recruiting individuals like me looking to deepen our engagement in the political process. She's nurturing networks of informed neighbors. I found those people when I was out petitioning. She's also fostering relationship with community-based organizations that are doing the work to preserve our civil and human rights, all the while breathing new life into the Suffolk County Democratic Committee. I walked to get signatures on petitions in 4 election districts. Many of the folks I canvassed said that they had never had someone knock on their door. They wondered why we have such poor candidates for elections and why we never win here in Suffolk County, and asked most consistently why candidates on the Democratic line were also cross-endorsed by on the conservative line. Time and time again, I pointed out that it was poor county leadership for the last 25 years that was to blame for these problems. And there was one solution: a change in leadership, a change for the better, a change to new leadership, a change to Catherine Casey Quigley. I'm proud to be one of those smiling neighbors that have boots on the ground, knocking on doors, ready to listen, building connection and community. And that's why I believe what Catherine says is true. We must rebuild, reform, rebrand, and why I believe that she is the right choice to lead our party forward. Thank you.